We are joined by Emily Sonnett. Can everyone hear me okay? Layman, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, great. We're joined here by defender Emily Sonnett, getting ready for tomorrow's match against Kansas City. As usual, if you guys have a question, just hit the raise your hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you. Emily, if you could just start us off, just it's a big match tomorrow. Just your thoughts on a big game here in Kansas City.
Sure, Jeff. I think any game is big. We know how tight the table is this year. So points obviously matter, and it will be a good matchup against KC.
Questions for Emily. Kasuf, go ahead.
Emily, thanks for doing this. Just wondering, you mentioned the tight table. You've been in the league. You've seen the evolution. Does it feel any different in terms of the variety of team quality and sort of week to week this year than previous seasons? I mean, there's a bigger gap from first to last this year and last, but there's a lot of congestion in the middle. Does the week to week feel any different to you as a player in terms of the quality?
Uh, Maybe a little. I don't remember the last time that the standings and the end of the year felt this exciting. Obviously how tight it is. I guess you can call it middle, but I guess it's like a big chunk of teams. I think there's a lot of teams playing like they really want to be in the playoffs, which makes every game super exciting. And speaking for Gotham specifically, it's a games that we all have to show up for. I think that's probably talking about everyone in the NWSL. But if anything, it makes it really tight and hopefully brings out the best football or soccer out of a lot of NWSL teams.
And just Kansas City specifically, I mean, I think it's there's obvious factors to see how and why they're good, but is there anything for you on the opposing side of what jumps out as a clear challenge with them?
I think Kansas City has had an incredible year, as anyone can see. I think something that's important for us is sticking to what we're really good at and fine-tuning that. They obviously have threats. I think they've been really well coached. But understanding that they're just another game and 3 points are really valuable for us.
Maybe just one more, if I could quickly. The team, focusing on Gotham from maybe first half of the season, just roughly speaking, anyway, to back end here, seems like things have really clicked in maybe post summer break. Anything tangible to you that jumped out in that, or is that just sort of coming together in the season in the home stretch?
Sure. I think coming together, I think this team specifically, I think each year is a different team. So the learnings and the layering in what we're actually doing and continuing to fine tune, I think it's not a secret that it's kind of a slower start, and now we're kind of hitting more of a stride. So I think something that this team can be really proud of is taking all those learnings and on the second half of the year, putting together a few good performances.
Thanks,
John,
Emily.
go ahead.
Hi, Emily. Jonathan Lehman from the Post. Just to follow up on that question, what are some things that you think specifically the team's doing better than they were maybe a couple of months ago, or as that fine tuning has occurred, what are the differences that you're seeing specifically?
Sure. I think our final third is looking a little bit more connected. I think as a unit, defensively, we're tightening up spaces, which feels good, which maybe ends up meaning that we're running a little less, which I think everyone kind of likes. I think those are probably like the most specific, but the continued layering in for each game plan and then fine tuning our final third, because I think games are won and lost in the 18. So that's probably our biggest our I guess the more specific of what we've kind of fine tuned.
And a Kansas City question, if you don't mind. You're, as a veteran of the league, you've seen a lot of different kind of powerhouse teams come and go in NWSL. This year's Kansas City team that has opened up this huge lead in first place, does that remind you of anything that you've seen in years past, or just the form that they're in? Is it kind of ringing any bells for you from NWSL teams of the past?
Uh, Orlando last year. I don't really know how to answer that, but I think Casey has proven that have been a really good team this year. It's a matchup that I think everyone who wants to win the championship, it's a matchup that they definitely want at the end of the year. To kind of have an exciting game, but to understand how good of a matchup and how we can look hopefully into a postseason.
Great, thanks.
Melanie, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, thanks for taking the time. Melanie from The Athletic. Kind of following up to some of the things you said, you spoke about how the season has been so exciting, how there's been so many, strong teams, and each week is kind of a fight. These past few weeks have been pretty back to back for Gotham. I think you played the top five teams in a row, and now you're coming up against Kansas City Current. So just as a player, as a team, how do you stay mentally ready, for each week and knowing that each game is kind of like fighting for that spot in the, keeping either the third place, fourth place position?
Yeah, I think something that's incredible about this league, it doesn't really matter what or where one team is in the standings. You're going to get a physical match. You're going to get teams that don't give up. So I think the whole year kind of prepares you for that because on the day, another team could be the better team, and I think that just speaks to the talent that's across the league here in the NWSL.
Great, thank you. And one follow-up of you talked about how the team changes every year, and I know Jaden was kind of, a player that came in and was immediate impact for Gotham. Just what's it like playing with her, and what has it been like having her on the team?
Sure. I've known Jaden. I was with her at Spirit when she wasn't first signed. She was training. And then that's before she went to San Diego. Obviously I'm familiar with national team. Um, I love being able to reconnect with national team players at club level. Being able to train with someone every day with the caliber like Jaden is really special. It makes me better. I feel like she's found a really good spot here, and I'm really excited to see how she grows and how the rest of the season goes.
Great, thank you.
Anything else for Emily? Jonathan, go ahead.
Yeah, last one. The idea of finishing in the top four and having a playoff game at home, how much is that a goal for the team or something you discuss as being a goal?
Um, I think having a home playoff match, anybody who wants to travel more, and everyone wants to play in front of their fans. I think it was always a goal to hopefully host the postseason. Definitely on our minds, but more importantly, that it doesn't matter. Each game is taken individually, and understanding that points matter, especially this far into the season.
Cool. Thanks.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Bye, you guys.
Off there. All right. Hi, everybody. Again, we are joined here by Gotham head coach Juan Carlos Amoros. If you have a question for Juan, please hit the raise your hand function. Juan, if you could just start us off, just your thoughts on a huge matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, well, obviously we're coming to Kansas City, and I think it's obviously a very important game for us. It's a difficult place to come, but I think the team is ready to come here to be ourselves, to play, to compete, to win. But it's going to be obviously really difficult. Kansas City has been fantastic all year, home and away, even more at home. So hopefully we can come here and create that upset, getting those 3 points. No?
Wonderful. Pardeep, if you could start us off.
Hi, Juan.
So,
Just you were mentioning the strength of Kansas City. Obviously, I mean, I don't know if you want to answer the question about. Sorry, I just sneezed right before all of this. About just the fact that they've already won the Shield. They don't necessarily have points to play for anymore. Does that change the way you game plan? And just considering how quickly they won the Shield this year, how do you handle the challenge of beating a team as strong as that one?
well, I think they are a very strong team, but we are a very strong team too. I don't think, you know, in that way, it's not like, oh, they are very strong and we're not like we're very strong. We got a great group of individuals with individual quality, with collective strength, where we have, senior players that are leading this team on and off the pitch, young players that are showing the quality day in, day out. I think on that way, I completely back us. And in terms of, this is professional football. Like I know Blatko, great person, and great competitor. I know obviously a few of the players personally, and I've seen them competing like, if it doesn't really change anything. I think they're gonna go in the game to win. They play in front of their stadium. They probably wanna keep that record they have at home, and we wanna go there and obviously take away that record. That's part of this business. So I think it really doesn't really change anything.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome, Paddy.
Don't be shy, guys. Any other questions for Juan? Jonathan, go ahead.
Hi, Jonathan Lehman from the Post. A couple months back, your team is in ninth, 10th place, kind of struggling to get results back before this unbeaten run. Was there ever a moment where you doubted or maybe thought maybe this isn't our year, or doubted that you would be back where you are now, closer to the top of the table?
Not really, because when we were maybe getting those results, there was, we were actually always in that like number eight, which it also gives you like a little bit of a calmer position. But it's like for us, it's always about the next game, about keep growing as a team, making sure that we are being ourselves on the pitch and how we work at training and in the analysis room and as a group and in our individual meetings and everything. It hasn't really changed. We trusted the process of who we are. We've had this year obviously a big turnaround in players. We've had, I think it's like 9 or 10 rookies. We've had, key players that unfortunately have been hurt during the year. We've struggled to get that consistency, and we still do know we still have some players that are still, like Avi Portillo and Jace and Ella and Tierna, Tarin. It's a lot of our players that maybe have been helping the team a lot and are not being able to do it, but we've prepared everyone and they've prepared themselves to be ready to compete and to win. And it's just this league is very competitive, and you need to be loyal to yourself and making sure that you have a plan and that you have a way to play and a way to do things. And I think that always pays for us. Obviously, we weren't in the position we wanted to be, and a lot of the credit needs to go to my players and my staff. Like everyone has worked so hard. You've mentioned these 11 games unbeaten. I think we've played 11 games in like 45 days. We've traveled to Canada, we traveled to El Salvador, we traveled to the West Coast. We even play our home games, not in our normal stadium. We play our home games in the CONCACAF in Philadelphia or in New York City. A lot of the players had to travel even more. And the bigger the challenge, the bigger the performance. And I think that's been credit to the resilience of this group and how much this group is being willing to work incredibly hard. The defensive record is outstanding. How they've been playing on the ball is getting better and better. How players' performance individually have been growing and growing. I think I couldn't be any prouder, and that has to go. As I said, no, the players have been outstanding in terms of how they face this challenge, and also the staff has been really good. Not only the technical team, but like we got a big group of people working medical, high performance operations, like it's been a big push for everyone to get us to where we are, and now it's a question of us making sure that we're ready for these final challenges, and that hopefully we can first try to secure the playoff spot, the home playoff tie, then going into the playoffs hopefully and be able to win the championship. That's what we are here for, no? To try to win every game.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome.
Melanie, go ahead.
Hey Juan, Melanie from The Athletic. Thank you for taking the time. You mentioned the home playoff game and how that's a goal for Gotham. Can you just talk about why that's so important for the club to have that home playoff match and the benefits of that for the team?
Yeah, well, I think also, we do this job for our fans. I think our fans have been unbelievable this year, even games where we maybe didn't perform at our best. They were always backing us, always supporting us. We've had some fun events that they've been fantastic. I think in total we probably go almost like, I don't know the numbers, but like 2,000 people coming, like getting, like individual contact with our players. They are there every day. And I think for us to be able to play at least one of the playoff games at home in front of them, with them, I think it will be very special for them first, and also for our players, for our staff, for our city, for our ownership, for everyone that has been working so hard all year is something we will really try to push for. But for us, that's obviously a goal that we would love to achieve, but for us, everything goes about beating Kansas City tomorrow here, So that's how we always operate. So, but we know that obviously getting those 3 points, we get a lot closer to that position.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Jeff, go ahead.
Juan, have I mean, I guess maybe a somewhat obvious question in some ways, but curious from the coaching tactical perspective of just like, to you, what is it that stands out that makes Kansas City as good as they are, and obviously, flip side of that of what you need to really nail down on to be successful against them.
Well, I think they've got a very clear style of play that's kind of related to what I said before, no? Having a way of doing things is something that is, for me, key. They go, they haven't really changed much tactically throughout the year. They're a team that is comfortable with the opposition having the ball and ready to hurt you in those quick transitions, with sending a lot of people forward to do that. And I think that's their strength. And then for us is, and they collectively defend also in a special way, but then in a way that is obviously proving to be effective. And for us, the key is we need to make sure that we're good on the ball, that we don't get into a game where there is constant transition. So it's a game where we need to be brave, where we need to be ourselves on the ball, we're counter pressers in the moments where we don't have the ball, and be able to control the game as much as we can. But I think it's also one of their strengths in even games where they maybe are not in control, they are still very dangerous because they are comfortable without the control. So I think that's their strength, and hopefully tomorrow we can impose ours. No,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else for Juan? All right, Juan, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.